Hello there, everybody. Well, the weather's been pretty poor recently. I really wanted to get out and use my new Fuji X-T4 a bit more, but that's going to have to wait until the rain and wind has gone, I think. It just kills the video with all that nasty wind. So let's take a look back at some of the buses and the liveries that were common on the streets of London back in 2009, many of which have now disappeared. The year started off with some really heavy snow, February of 2009, and we see some photos here of Metroline's Potter's Bar garage. And no buses left the garage on this day. I think buses across London did eventually start running, but nothing moved from Potter's Bar. And as drivers, if we wanted to be paid for our shift, we had to somehow find a way to get to the garage, because you needed to be there just on the off chance that they started running buses. In the event they didn't, so you were held for about 5 hours and then you were allowed to go home but paid for your full shift. Not really seen snow like this in my area, I don't think, since 2009 really. Moving on now, well, it was still possible to see route masters on the streets of London. There we have an Arriva one, but I'm not quite sure what that's operating. It must be some kind of private work. And then there was this one, with Capital Radio on the side and windows at the top there. Not quite sure again what that was all about. Just in the right place at the right time to take that photograph. A rear shot here of a route master on the 15. That service has now long gone. I don't seem to have one of a route master on the 9 from 2009. But they were still about, I believe, in 2009. Here's another one of a route master on the 15, close to Trafalgar Square. Dennis darts, of course, were very common. A nice scene here, climbing up Osage Lane in Southgate. A very leafy suburb there. Bendy buses, well, who could forget the Bendy buses? Arriva had some on the 73. There were a few dotted around, wasn't there? The 149 had some, and plenty of other central London routes. You either loved them or hated them, but I didn't mind travelling on them, I found, with their very large doorways. You didn't get boxed in. You could just get on the bus and you were always going to get off with no problem when you got to your stop. Arriva love the old DAF, don't they? Still using DAFs now. And back in 2009, they were using DLA and DLP class, obviously either bodied by Alexander or by Plaxtons. Seeing a couple here on the 279 route. This one's up at Waltham Cross. A lovely sunny summer's day in 2009. You can see the difference. The previous photo was the Plaxton bodied. This is the Alexander bodied. And still very nice buses to drive. And then we had the early T buses, that's the Enviro 400s, T5 there from Palmer's Green Garage at North Finchley on the 125 route. And one of my favourite photos now, again, climbing Osage Lane, just look at the lovely backdrop there, of another Enviro 400 on the 125 route, just approaching Southgate there. Metroline had these MAN MCV Evolution buses for the 251. I always quite like the look of these, really. Didn't get too many photos of them over the years, but they were quite eye-pleasing looking buses, in my opinion. 3 shots here, all taken on at Arnos Grove, either on the route 232, I think, by the looks of it, all of them. I was going to say 251, but no, I think these are all on the 232. And we move over now to Parliament Hillfields, where we've got a couple of shots of Metroline's Dennis Dart buses on the C11 route. I do like this livery, probably my favourite livery from the London privatisation years. Red and blue, it does go well together. Not too deep a skirt. I think earlier on, did they not have a much deeper blue skirt that came higher up the body, which I didn't really like, but this was just a nice proportion there between the red and blue. Moving on to Highgate Village here for one of the shorter DLMs off the W5 route, I believe, making an appearance on the 214. And there we have an Alexandra bodied Dennis Trident on the 16 at Marble Arch. And 2009, I guess this was the era between Stagecoach leaving and Stagecoach returning to London, because these Tridents are all marked up as East London. I'm trying to work out the location of that one, if that's a 15. Off the top of my head, I can't quite place that. I'm sure somebody will know. But that's Marble Arch, coming into Oxford Street there on Route 30. Had some nice sunny weather in 2009 by the looks of it. A lot of my photos are nice and bright and sunny. First bus, of course, another one of my favourite liveries. And some Tridents here in central London, Route 23 there. Coming off Marble Arch into Oxford Street. And another one here approaching Hyde Park Corner on Park Lane. I'd go so far as to say this is my second favourite livery behind the Metroline one, because this is quite nice. And another one on the 23 there, just coming into Oxford Street. And a right-bodied Volvo here, just off Marble Arch, entering Park Lane, on the 414 heading to Putney Bridge. Another bright sunny day, probably all taken on the same day, I guess. Same location, same day. We move on to these rather strange looking things. East Lancs bodied Volvo B7 TLs. East Lancs Millennium Viking bodies these were. A bit too angular for my taste, not over keen on them. But I don't know if I ever rode on one either, for that matter. I don't seem to have them on video, but 2009 was a bit early for my video stuff. Transdev now, they were... I suppose this is London United, what we know as now, isn't it, with this livery? But some Tridents here in central London on the 94. Again, just coming off Marble Arch and entering Oxford Street. Not a bad livery, that one. Possibly my third favourite livery, I'm guessing. And one of the Scanias. Not sure if I like this bodywork or not. I liked it at the time, but I've kind of gone off it. And we end this little video with some Transdev Scania East Lancs Olympus body buses. Hope you've enjoyed this little video, a little flashback to 2009, just to see how things have changed over the years, and a collection of my photographs. And I'll be back with you again soon, hopefully when the weather improves, with a proper video using the Fuji X-T4. Thanks for watching, and goodbye for now.